The Tao is small and infinite, the Tao is large and endless. Whether it is as small as an atom, or as large as the universe, everything in it follows the law of the operation of the Tao. This law is Tao begets one, one begets two, two begets three, three begets all things, and all things return to one. Now we will start with this sentence to parse the way of all things in the universe. Let us start by analyzing the first sentence. Tao gives birth to one. What is the Tao? Tao is nothing. When the Tao gives birth to one, it is to create something out of nothing. Many people interpret the one in Dao Sheng Yi as one, which is wrong. This one means there is, which means there is a lot of, a great deal of. Then something from nothing means, in this void space, there suddenly appeared a large amount of initial chaotic elements capable of constituting everything in the universe. Why is it said that everything in the universe comes from nothingness? The reason is simple. Let us use iron as an example. Iron is made up of iron atoms arranged in the void, and iron atoms are made up of electrons and nuclei arranged in the void, and nuclei are made up of smaller substances arranged in the void. When we keep breaking it down like this, you realize that we can't find any actual matter at all that exists is nothingness. Therefore, everything we see and everything we touch does not exist. Of course, we can also understand the Tao as an indeterminable parameter, and this parameter is infinitely small. When we subdivide the iron, we will find that the iron is composed of nothingness. But there is matter in the nothingness, and then after continuing to subdivide the matter, what exists is still nothingness. So I ask you all, is iron composed of infinitely small nothingness, or is it composed of infinitely small matter? Because no matter how we subdivide the nothingness, there will still be smaller matter in the nothingness. And no matter how we subdivide the matter will still end up being composed of smaller nothingness. In short, not being able to find the end of matter and nothingness means that we can't know whether there is or isn't such an end. Therefore, we can understand the Tao as an indeterminable parameter, and this parameter is infinitely small. Matter is made up of countless indefinable infinitely small nothingnesses, or it is made up of countless indefinable infinitely small substances. And when this indeterminable parameter is presented to us, it presents matter with actual size, with actual properties. So, the Tao begets the one, and it is from the indeterminable factors that a determinable fact is derived, from the formless to the tangible. For example, we can never be sure whether iron consists of countless infinitely small nothingnesses, or countless infinitely small substances. But what we can be sure of is that the substance iron exists in fact. If you do not understand, let me give you another example of whether the chicken or the egg came first. We can never come to a precise conclusion as to whether the chicken or the egg came first, because this is a matter of uncertainty. This uncertainty, however, actually allows both the egg and the chicken to exist in the world at the same time. An uncertainty that leads to certainty. So here we can understand the Tao in Dao Sheng Yi as an indeterminable parameter. And understand the one in Tao begets one as a determinable fact, and the fact is that the egg and the chicken originally existed in this world at the same time. Since this indeterminable parameter is an oxymoron that can never be resolved, there is no need for us to dish on this oxymoron because there is no point in doing so. Instead, we need to focus on this paradox, what results can come out of it, and whether we can get something we eat out of those results. And what is nothingness? Let me start with a physical phenomenon. When your fist hits a person's face, from the atomic level, your fist never actually touches the other person's face, because there is a distance between atoms, and the distance is nothingness. Now the question arises. Since the fist never touches your face, why does it hurt when it hits your face? And also, since there is a distance between atoms, why is there a release of energy when you separate two atoms? Then there is only one possibility, and that is that nothingness is a kind of energy, or nothingness is an interstitial mass capable of transmitting energy, and this interstitial mass is an infinitely small substance. Similarly, in the vacuum of our universe, it seems that no matter exists, but in fact it is full of infinitely small matter. How small is it? So small that we can't monitor it in any way, even smaller than two-dimensional matter. And what is this infinitely small matter made of? It is still made up of infinitely smaller nothingness and infinitely smaller matter, and when these infinitely smaller matter are separated they produce infinitely smaller energy. In short, no one knows exactly how small this infinitesimal is. As we said earlier, the Tao is an indeterminable parameter, and this parameter is infinitely small. And this undeterminable parameter leads to a definite result. That result is that, when someone punches you in the face, it feels painful. And what cannot be determined is that the punch never actually touches your face, because there is a distance between atoms, and there is some kind of matter that exists between those distances that can transfer the energy from the punch to your face. These substances are the infinitely small, indeterminable substances, and among these infinitely small substances, there's a great deal of infinitely small energy. Here we come to two conclusions. Conclusion 1. Nothingness is a kind of energy, or an interstitial substance capable of transmitting energy. Nothingness is also an infinitesimal energy, or an infinitesimal interstitial mass capable of transmitting infinitesimal energy. With this infinitesimal cycle going on, the end of this infinitesimal can never be found. For the time being, we call these infinitesimal interstitials and energies dark matter and dark energy. Conclusion 2. All the matter we see is made up of infinitely small amounts of energy or infinitely small amounts of matter. Whether it is made up of infinitely small amounts of energy or infinitely small amounts of matter will never be answered. But what we do know is that both energy and matter do exist in our world. Energy can only exist in matter, and matter, when subdivided, is a manifestation of energy. And there is no vacuum in the universe. Because the vacuum is filled with infinitely small amounts of matter and energy that we can't perceive at all. We call these infinitesimal matter and energy dark matter, and dark energy for the time being.